Hi, it is RuPaul's Drag Race, Season 12, Episode 10, Superfan Makeover. I have very few notes, just right here, but I have a lot of thoughts. So, first of all, I have magnetic eyelashes on. So, if one of them pops off in the middle of the video, you know I'm not very good. And I tried a cat eye wing, and I have one that I feel like was kind of successful and one that wasn't, but after 10 attempts, so that's just gonna have to be good. So, anyway, so I finally caught up on Drag Race Secret Celebrity, and a lot of people were talking about the fact that they're not super celebrities in the first episode. I'm totally fine with that. The celebrities can just be the drag queens as far as I'm concerned. I vaguely recognized a few of them, but not really, but you're really there for the drag queens. I don't even know if I'm even there to watch the drag makeover. I'm just there to listen to the drag queens talk. It's so great to see Bob and Monet and Trixie, period. I just love seeing them every time I can. And it's wonderful to see them in a leadership position. Trixie actually talked about this in a video recently because she did Instant Influencer, which is a YouTube series. She was a guest judge, but I think it also kind of applies to here, which she's like, it's so great to be in a reality show and not be judged. And just everything you do is right. And that's what you feel off of them, is everything they do is right. Even if their contestant doesn't win, it's not the end of the world because, you know, they don't have any, the money's all going to charity. You don't really have that much control. And it's everything you love about this episode without any of the potential missteps. So it's actually a good way to lead into this episode because I realized that that's what the makeover challenge really is. Like, yeah, it's fun to see someone else get into drag, but is that really a drag skill? I mean, it kind of is, but if you can't put makeup on someone else's face, doesn't really mean you can't succeed as a drag queen. But what this episode does so well is we have the opportunity to see people who are under tremendous amount of stress, are insecure by the very nature of the competition. They're being judged constantly and they're trying to figure out what the judges want. And we get a moment to see them in a leadership position, in a mentor position, and that's super nice. So, I will never get over the fact that I wasn't there for the Superfan Challenge. But once I put my jealousy aside and said, well, it probably was only applicable to people who live within 10 miles or in Southern California. Anyway, they all were so excited to be there. RuPaul's still trying to rename Heidi, but I just have to say, Heidi Aphrodite is actually really cute. I was like, oh, that rhymes. And then when they put it up on the screen and they spelled Afro, A-F-R-O, I was like, ah, and I screamed. I was like, okay, that's actually really cute. Although if Heidi is Heidi in closet, I will always support you. So only change your name if you need to. Now, one of the things that I always think about, and I don't know if everybody thinks about this, is the logistics of things like these outfits. So they didn't know who they were going to get. I know that they're given a package of information so they can bring costumes ahead of time. And so, like, unlike something like Project Runway where everything's made there, they're kind of given a packet where, like, the Madonna, that's where we got the Madonna problem. You know, not this Madonna, but the previous where they gave people a hard time. And I actually, if I was doing recaps back then, I would have done the math, the probability, and the probability was incredibly high. The probability that if you have more than 20 people in a room, that someone in, I think it's 20, might be 30. Probability that someone in the room has the same birthday is actually greater than 50%. So they were almost guaranteed to get duplicates for Madonna, period. I could have done the math for them, but I won't because that was a different season. But anyway, the point is they're given a target assignment, and I thought, so when they say that Jada made the outfit, she did make it, but I'm pretty sure they meant she pre-prepared it and made it at home, which is still an amazing accomplishment. But I don't think she made it in the workroom in those 2 days. Did I miss a scene? I very well could have missed a scene because it was kind of hectic this morning when I watched the episode. But one of the things I appreciated, they gave Heidi a really hard time about her not having a dress that fit the contestant. And the contestant's a beautiful woman. Heidi was so super supportive, but I kind of wondered if part of it was that Heidi did bring an outfit, but it hadn't been made to the right measurements. That's why Gigi Good's outfit was smart, because it could fit any height or body type, but also why it wasn't as impressive. And to a certain degree, So that's kind of a question I have. I don't know if anybody has more information on that. Heidi did not say anything that would have upset her contestant, and for that, she has my heart. That's why we love her, though. That's why she was so wonderful to her. They all were wonderful to the super fans. So they're all smart enough. We've all done this enough times. We saw Project Runway, I think it was season 4 with Jeffrey Sevilla. I think maybe it was 3 and Christian was 4. But anyway, where he made his makeover feel bad and cry, and he never really recovered from that. Pro tip, I actually know one of the contestants from that show because she took up archery. So anyway, that's not a pro tip. That's just me kind of name dropping, but not really. Anyway, I thought it was a heartwarming episode. I don't feel like it really moved the I didn't move the contest any farther forward, but it was a lovely love letter to the fans, especially the female fans, which I know that at least on Twitter there's some debate about female fans encroaching on gay spaces. That is a discussion I think that can be had by experts in the field, not random YouTubers, but it is on VH1, and women do make up a large percentage. I don't know the demographics of the show's watchers, so it was a very nice moment to remind. And I'm just going to jump right to it, which is Jada is having the perfect RuPaul Drag Race run. And what I mean by that is from a storytelling point of view, she started off strong, but not so strong that we all were watching. At least me, I kind of had my eye distracted by Gigi, and I knew Jada was strong, but I didn't see her coming up the outside lane to come in front and just pull away. So from a storytelling point of view, she was strong. She was always strong. I mentioned this last week. She had some real zingers. And at first I thought, oh, she got off a funny line. Then she did it again and again, and I realized, oh, she's funny. She's gorgeous. She's poised. She's like classy, but she is genuinely funny, not like a one-off funny. And then she starts winning. And then this episode, she starts showing a lot of heart. She talks to her super fan. She gets emotional. She mother ducks her in the sense that she's like, no, you're going to put on heels because you can do it. And I believe in you. And if you fail, at least you tried, but we're here. So she kind of stage mommed her a little bit, but in a like the way you would in an inspirational movie see the teacher push you out on stage. She kind of did that. She did an excellent makeover, and then she spent a big chunk talking about how important the fans are to her, how important they are to the entire industry of drag. And I was like, she got a little emotional, I got a little emotional, and I was like, she is playing this show, or the show's playing her, whatever, the editing, like an expert. She was always strong, so we can't say, oh, well, she's not great at this. She's always been good. I don't think she's ever been in the bottom. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I have no memory of her being bad at anything. I don't have any memory of her being... The only thing was at first I thought she was bland, but she is doling out that personality. She has a heart under that bitch exterior. She is funny, and she lays it out really carefully. I think I'm more and more, my eye is being drawn to her, and I'm thinking she's going to take it. That's just my opinion. And another person I misjudged was Crystal. I said a couple weeks ago I thought Crystal was on the road out. I was sad about it. I said it's not really my choice or what I want, but she just doesn't seem to be getting her footing. And then she got her footing. And it's starting to really click together for her, and it's really exciting to see. So they all did this thing. Some people are a little upset that Jada won over Crystal, and I'm okay with it. And this is why. This is why I think Jada deserved to win over Crystal, but I think that Crystal is playing a really smart long game. So the challenge was drag family. And what Crystal did was look-alike lesbians or lesbian pairs. We all kind of know that sometimes same-sex couples can kind of look alike. And so she's like, let's take the Bert and Ernie, the societal joke about Bert and Ernie being a same-sex pair. Let's gender flip them and let's do it. Now, it would have been so easy for her to put her in traditional, like what we see Crystal method makeup with the lips. Just the lips alone, you would have a family resemblance. But she took it a step farther. She took it to wild, crazy makeup. When they asked what is going on, in the nicest possible way, it was just, you saw that they were clearly on the runway. You were not confused who was a couple. The look was high concept. All of it was amazing, but it wasn't a family resemblance. It was a lesbian couple. So she redefined the challenge. I think that's why Jada got it over Crystal. I think Jada also had the difficulty of a lot of times different when we paired up people that are different ethnic backgrounds, a lot of times we see that the whole thing falls apart. And Jada and her daughter looked alike. That was a challenge. It was someone she picked. I also feel like Jada didn't get enough credit. They gave her applause on the runway, but that not that there was a way you could have screwed anyone over because they were all beautiful, but even that being said, she paired them up really, really, really well for success, which I think really shows, because she could have mixed up like heights, like if Sherry Pie's gal, who was amazing and unfortunately lost some screen time, which is a bummer, had been paired with Heidi, Heidi would have had a much harder challenge getting a family resemblance just because of the height difference and bone structure difference and ethnic background and skin color and all that. So even though all of the girls were stunning and gorgeous, they were paired up with people that you felt like they were already on second base for a home run, if that makes sense. So I feel like we saw more of Jada's heart in that decision. We saw it in her being emotional and Mother Henny with her sister. We saw it in, I didn't get a chance to watch all of Untucked because I'm already behind schedule on everything. But Jada is just, I knew she was good, and then I knew she was winning, and she has been working her way genuinely into my heart. And I'm like, ooh, this is kind of interesting. I don't normally, I'm normally not so aware of this. But anyway, so I think that's why Jada won over Crystal, is that Crystal didn't necessarily stick to what the challenge was. But this is why I think it's smart for her, is because she is coming in with a look and an ideal and a setup that is not normally rewarded super well in traditional Drag Race. We see people like Trixie and stuff do really well in All Stars, but we don't normally see someone too far off the box in a traditional RuPaul's season. But Crystal's kind of figuring out how to do it. And she's building up a large, like I saw some tweets that showed how much her runway style varies. And so she is setting up lots of, like she might not be winning, but she is setting up a lot of strong finishes with a variety of looks. And there's no doubt at some point the judges cannot ignore that she's not doing what they expect, and it doesn't exactly meet the criteria of the challenge, but you cannot deny it. I have a Steve Martin quote right over here that says, that's the wrong one. That's about perseverance. There's another one over here somewhere about be so good they can't ignore you. And that's what she's doing. She's being so good they can't ignore her, even if it doesn't fit the challenges, because the challenges aren't set up for her style of drag. I meant to mention it last week, but when she came out and did Grumpy Cat, I honestly was like, I don't know who this is. Who's Grumpy Cat? And I had to do it, I was like, maybe it's Sherry Pie, because I don't know Sherry Pie. I had to do it through process of elimination because I genuinely didn't recognize the face, because, especially because of the lips, but that is hard to do when you're down to a half dozen people. So anyway, we get to the end. They gave Heidi a really hard time, which I understand because of the challenge, but I think some of that had to do with maybe what she had prepared. She didn't throw her contestant under the bus, which gives us her heart. Heidi, by all means, is the heart of this season. To me, I think she's a joy. So we get down to the end. Jackie and Heidi are in the bottom, and I was really upset. I mean, I love Jackie, but I have to admit that she's stumbling. Heidi has got all the personality and heart, but we're not seeing it in the finished details. which luckily for her is very easily fixable outside of the show. But I was like, oh, I don't want either one of them to go. And then they tore the house down. Jackie had an excellent, I don't want Jackie in the bottom, but it's been given her opportunities to succeed. Some of the most amazing things she's done in the show has been her last lip sync and this lip sync. And they tore the house down. It was amazing. It was astounding. And it was, sometimes double Shantays are a little bit where you feel like, okay, well, I like both contestants, so I'm glad they stayed, but really, that's the one you want people to stay on? Okay, well, whatever. This is one that was so well-deserved. And so that was just a joy to see. I know it's always disappointing to the contestants when they feel like they made it through another week, and then they look and they go, oh, I still have to get rid of this many people. It can be a little bit exhausting. But anyway, I have joy written down. I have a sad face next to them when they lip synced. I had joy, double save, deserved, all that. I put Jade is doing well. What in the world? Oh, I said everyone's makeup was great. This, I have to say, is probably one of the best makeover challenges in terms of consistency. And I have to say, when they were saying that it's a really strong season, I absolutely agree. It was it's been a very strong season, and I don't really know who's going to go next. No one. Let's just keep them all to the end. So anyway, I will see you guys later. Take care of yourself. And just keep telling me in the comments who as your rankings change, how are you feeling about it? Bye.